Hey everyone, welcome back, where we dive deep into the darkest corners of horror cinema. Today, we're breaking down a bone-chilling Norwegian flick, the terrifying Christmas Eve zombie outbreak. Except plot twist, there's no zombies here, but we've got a monstrous killer, a frozen wasteland, and a group of friends fighting for their lives in the snowy peaks of Jotunheimen. This one's a brutal survival horror with some seriously twisted reveals, so let's get into it. The movie opens with a haunting flashback. A young boy with a large birthmark covering one eye is sprinting through a blizzard in Jotunheimen, panic written all over his face as he's hunted by an unseen pursuer. He begs for mercy, but it's no use. His chaser buries him alive in the snow, leaving us with a chilling mystery that'll come back to haunt us later. Fast forward to the present, where we meet our main crew, a group of young friends heading out for a snowboarding vacation in the remote Jotunheimen mountains. There's Jannik, the level-headed leader, her boyfriend Eirik, and their pals Mikael, Ingunn, and Morten Tobias, all pumped to hit the slopes and escape the crowded resorts. They drive to a secluded spot, hike to the peak, and start shredding down the mountain. But things go south fast when Morten Tobias takes a nasty fall and snaps his leg. Jannik steps up, setting his leg as best she can, but it's clear they can't treat it properly out in the open. With no cell service and their car too far to reach before nightfall, they're in a bind, until they spot a lodge over a hill and decide to head there for help. When they arrive, the place is eerily deserted. Eirik breaks in through a window and unlocks a door, and while Jannik searches for medical supplies, she finds a strange box with superglue and a single shotgun shell. She uses the alcohol and superglue to patch up Morten's leg, doing her best to keep him comfortable. While Jannik stays with Morten, Eirik, Mikael, and Ingunn explore the abandoned resort. The trio finds the generator, which Eirik manages to fix, bringing power back to the lodge. Mikael and Ingunn sneak off to have some alone time, stumbling into a room that's a total wreck, with a bed burnt to ashes, hinting at some dark history. Meanwhile, Eirik hears a clanking noise from the cellar and calls out, thinking it's Mikael and Ingunn messing around, but gets no reply. Back in the parlor, the group finally starts to relax. Lights are on, music's playing, and there's plenty of food and booze to go around. Jannik flips through the hotel's guest book and finds the last entry is from 1975, with a cryptic note that reads, "We hope you find your son." Tucked inside is a photo of a family, including a boy with a birthmark over his eye, the same kid from the opening scene. As night falls, the group splits up to settle in. Mikael and Ingunn head to a suite, Jannik and Eirik cuddle in the parlor, and Morten Tobias crashes on the couch. In their room, Mikael and Ingunn start making out, but Mikael gets too aggressive, and Ingunn pushes him away. Frustrated, he storms off, leaving her alone. Ingunn hears a noise in the hall and, thinking it's Mikael coming back, steps out, only to be attacked by a shadowy figure. She screams for help, running through the halls, but the music in the parlor drowns out her cries. Before she can reach Mikael, who's sulking at the bar, she's stabbed with a pickaxe and dragged away into the darkness. The next morning, Eirik heads out to find help, while Mikael goes to apologize to Ingunn. Out in the snow, Eirik stumbles across Ingunn's lifeless body, a horrifying discovery, right before he's smashed in the head with the blunt end of a pickaxe, knocking him out. Back at the lodge, Mikael gets no answer at the suite, so he and Jannik head to the basement, where they find items that shouldn't exist in a place closed since the 70s, making them uneasy. Jannik goes to check on Ingunn and walks into the suite, only to find it drenched in blood. She grabs Mikael and Morten Tobias, and as they investigate, a gust of wind blows through the hall from an open door. They realize they're not alone. Footsteps echo outside, and someone starts slamming against the door of the empty suite they barricaded themselves in. Once the noise stops, Mikael insists they should run, but Jannik refuses to leave Morten Tobias behind with his broken leg. Mikael doesn't care. He bolts through a window, leaving them behind. Jannik and Morten watch as Mikael hides in a shed, but then a massive figure appears, a mountain man in animal skins and goggles. He storms into the shed, and even though Mikael tries to escape, he gets caught in a bear trap, and the mountain man snaps his neck without a second thought. Janek drags Morton Tobias to a pantry, telling him to focus on a can label to stay calm while she comes up with a plan. She narrowly avoids the mountain man as he drags Mikhail's body inside, then races to the shed, grabbing skis, a sled, and a shotgun. She doubles back to the parlor, picks up the shotgun shell she found earlier, and loads the gun, ready to fight. She returns to Morton Tobias in the pantry, and says she's got a plan to take this guy down. They head to the basement, where Janek shuts off the generator, drawing the mountain man's attention. Morton Tobias finds a box cutter and slips it into his pocket, while Janek spots Irik's keys on the floor. She finds Irik tied up but alive in a back room, though she can't free him yet. As she waits for the mountain man, he appears, heading straight for the back room. Janek aims her shotgun, but he shuts off his flashlight, vanishing into the shadows. Thinking fast, she locks him in the room, but refuses to leave Irik trapped with him. She opens the door and fires, only for Morton Tobias to push her aside, realizing the mountain man is using Irik as a human shield. It's too late. The mountain man impales Irik with his pickaxe, killing him. Morton Tobias yells at Janek to run, trying to hold off the killer with a saw, but he's no match, and the mountain man takes him down too. Janek grabs her skis and bolts outside into the snowy night, only to be knocked out cold by the mountain man. When Janek wakes up, she's on the sled, buried under the bodies of her dead friends. The mountain man drags them to a deep ravine, tossing the bodies over one by one. Janek, playing dead, grabs the box cutter from Morton Tobias's pocket and waits for her moment. As the last one on the sled, she's grabbed by the mountain man, and that's when she strikes, stabbing him in the neck with the cutter. They wrestle over his pickaxe, tumbling to the ground near the ravine's edge. Just as he's about to finish her, Janek rips off his goggles, revealing a birthmark over his eye, the same mark as the boy from the flashback. Stunned, the mountain man hesitates, and Janek seizes her chance, stabbing him in the stomach with his own pickaxe, sending him plummeting into the ravine. We flash back to that opening scene, seeing the full picture. The boy with the birthmark, revealed to be the mountain man, was buried alive by his own parents, a traumatic betrayal that turned him into the monster he is today. Back in the present, the mountain man lands at the bottom of the ravine, surrounded by the bodies of Janek's friends, his reign of terror finally over. Janek, battered and exhausted, collapses into the snow, the sole survivor of a nightmare she'll never forget. And that's the movie, a relentless, gory survival horror that doesn't pull any punches. What makes this one stand out is how it blends the isolation of the snowy mountains with the raw terror of a relentless killer, all while tying the monster's origin to a heartbreaking act of betrayal. Janek's transformation into a fierce survivor is the emotional core here, showing how far someone can push themselves when everything's on the line. It's a brutal, bloody ride with a killer who's both terrifying and tragic, leaving you wondering just how many other monsters are hiding in those frozen peaks. Thanks for joining me on this recap. I hope you enjoyed breaking down this chilling tale as much as I did. Until next time, stay safe out there.